Good morning and welcome back aboard Checkmate. We're in this nice little small cove, well protected from the wind, which is almost all the way around us. The sun is just starting to peek over the horizon, and the plan for today is to leave here. This place is called Punta Blanca South, which is just outside Pine Island. And the plan is to kind of head down south and turn into the Caloosahatchee River and run across the state through Lake Okeechobee all the way to Stewart. So that's the plan for this week. So let's get rolling. Okay, stop the video. I'm in the middle of editing this video that you're currently watching. And it was all pretty, and there was birds flying, and it was beautiful water. And all of a sudden, the next clip that's coming up, I don't know how to transition into. So let me just tell you what's coming up to prepare you. While it was really, really pretty out, all of a sudden I heard something that sounded like my boat was coming apart. I heard this screaming. I don't know. I thought a jet just passed me or something. I looked to the side, and there goes two 50-foot skater speedboats running about 150 miles an hour, shooting rooster tails back. I run to try to grab my camera to get a picture of them. They are gone. All I got was just like a fluff of water spray a mile up. And I'm like, oh no, I missed it. No, I didn't. We were in the middle of a speedboat poker run, and look what was on their tail coming this way. So hang on to your tailcoats, because our day just got exciting. Well, we finally made it into our anchorage, Glover Bight. It's in the beginning of the Caloosahatchee River. Man, those speedboats were amazing. That's what's called a poker run. For those of you that don't know, a poker run is not a race. It's where a bunch of speedboats, people that own speedboats, get together in a group, and they run typically around 200 miles, like Miami to Key West, something like that. And they're handed out, they have 5 stops along the way, and they're handed out sealed envelopes. When they get to the destination, they all break open on stage their sealed envelopes, and whoever has the best poker hand wins. So it's not about how fast you go. If you go, 70 miles an hour or 200, it's not about the speed. But every now and then, some of them, like the first 2 that passed by, I'm guessing they were probably doing 140, 150. They flew by us in a blink of an eye. So they were out having fun racing each other. The rest of them were probably running in the range of 50 to 70 miles an hour, maybe a little faster. It's just super exciting. It's fun. It's great. And one of the cool things, even though they were close by, they didn't throw any wakes. When you're not touching the water, you don't throw much of a wake. But it was the excitement for the day, and I loved it. Later on that evening, a boat came in with just a ton of lights on it, lighting up the water. They were doing bow hunting and fish gigging. I watched one of the guys gig what appeared to be a flounder. Looks like they were doing really good. Beautiful sunrise just coming up over the trees. Time to leave this nice little anchorage and head through the Caloosahatchee River across Lake Okeechobee to Stewart. So my first fun of the morning, heading out of this nice little anchorage, and I'm heading directly into the sun. I can't see squat. I'm trying to go a little bit of an angle. I need to go right there, but I'm trying to go just a hair of an angle, tacking a little bit, just because if there was a log or something floating there or a pole, I couldn't see it. So man, this is unbelievable. I'll make it through there some way. Hopefully I don't hit it something. Well, this open area, pretty choppy. The wind is blowing like crazy. Thank goodness it's on the bow, not on the beam, so it's a decent trip. Still a little chilly out, so I've got all the isinglass still closed up. And we're coming up on Fort Myers, right there. Yes, sir. All right, getting ready to pass Fort Myers. And there's not so fast in front of me. Plan is to continue up the waterway to LaBelle, Florida, where they live. And I may spend a night there before heading on to Lake O. Just passed under the two Edison bridges, which lead into Fort Myers. One bridge is northbound and the other bridge is southbound. They both lead into Fort Myers. Well, actually one leads into and the other one leads out of it. Duh. There's the power plant. And it's also a sign that the waterway is much narrower. So it's much calmer now. Nice. So it's time to pivot. We were headed into this Franklin Lock, and we were going by a marina, and Brian from the SS Minnow gives me a call and says, "Hey, did you know the next lock up there is closed? Possibly until Tuesday, and today is Sunday." So we're pivoting. They've got 2 more spots for us back at the marina where Brian's at. So we just turned around and we're heading over to that marina. At least we'll have power for a couple days, and there's actually a grocery store nearby. Always pivoting. So we pivoted, and we're in this little marina called C10, which is about a mile before the first lock. I think it's called the Fulton Lock or something like that. I'll find the exact name, put it down below if it's not called the Fulton Lock. I think maybe it's a Franklin Lock. I don't know. It's not like me. I normally never forget. So I came in here, and right over here, it's 3 feet deep. So I came in and tried to turn around to face the same way that boat's facing, and the back of the boat just hit ground. So they pulled me over sideways. So I'm in here. And when it comes time to get out, they claim the tide's going to be up about a foot. So they're going to walk me out. That way I don't have to churn up mud. But anyway, back over here is Randy and Carolyn, not so fast. We were coming by, and SS Minnow over there, Brian, says, "Hey, Michael, you going through this lock and then getting stuck on the other side because the other lock is closed?" We didn't know. So it's a good thing he called me. And we're going to be here for a day or two whenever the other lock opens. So at least we now have power. And turns out Randy's folks live 10 minutes away. So they're coming to take us to lunch to get ribs. So yeah, got to embrace the pivot. Right, Jen? Anyway, so we're going to just kind of hang out here for a little bit. I can get some work done, I guess. So I've been having an issue with my starboard starter. You press the button up on the helm and nothing happens. No click, no nothing. So I replaced the solenoid back, I don't know, a month or two ago, and it seemed to fix it. So I said, great, that was it. Well, it did it again a couple of days ago. So I bought one of these little push button things that you use for clipping on the solenoid so you can bypass the key. So in case it does it again, because it did it while I was in a lock. I turned my engines off and I couldn't crank my second engine. So I'm going to put this temporary thing on there just in case it happens again before I get home, that I have a quick way to start it again. So that's what I'm doing now. It's a pain in the butt. Of course, it's on the starboard engine, which is the one you can't reach. So it's got to make my arms longer than they are, stretch. All right, let's see if it works. Yeah. Hey, it works. Okay, so I have a bypass. I don't think it's going to stay on there, though. It's barely clipped. Oh, we'll make it work. Well, I'm at it. I need to add about 3/4 of a quart of oil to my port engine. So I might as well do that while I'm here. See if I can get it to go right down the tube. Come on. Don't spill. Oh, good job. These engines have been really good. I mean, you barely use any oil. I think the entire loop I put in maybe a quart in each engine. Not even that. I had to add a little bit to this one, and this is the second time on the entire loop I've had to add about 3/4 of a quart. Otherwise, man, these Cummins have been just amazing. Love these engines. Love them, love them, love them. They need a little bit of cleaning. So when I get back, first thing I do is get out some cleaner and some rags and go over the whole engine. Because they do, what happens, let me show you this. These belts just throw off this dust. Look at this powdery belt dust. It's all over the place. Well, all over the front of the engine, that is. And it's just one of those things. It used to have this cover on the front that covered all the belts, but you couldn't see to check your belts in the morning. And that's one of the things you have to do on the loop is always check your belts. One of those things I just need to get the vacuum cleaner out and, vacuum some of this stuff off. It's always something to do. Well, good morning again. We've been here now for 4 days. The Ortuna lock said they were, every time we'd call and say, is your lock fixed yet? They'd say, no, we're waiting on divers. Call back tomorrow. But you know what? Staying here 4 days, got a chance to work on the boat a little bit. The best part was Randy's parents live right up the street. They took us to lunch almost every day, took us grocery shopping, showed us around the town. We even went over to their house several times. I got to drive their little golf cart around, and we're hauling some big potted plants for them. How you doing, Randy?
picking up plants.
Okay, I'm driving the cart. I'm just taking these plants into his garage for him. We went to a restaurant today and had a wonderful Italian meal. The best I've ever had. So, getting caught here in Fort Myers area is turning out really nice. Randy's got some really cool parents, man. I mean, this was like almost like a blessing in disguise. Had a great time. It was a nice break after all this running we've been doing on the west coast of Florida. So now I'm going to have my cup of coffee and kind of wake up a little bit, and we're going to head out. We're going to head to where Randy lives. Randy and Carolyn live in the Carabel area. So we're going to head up there and go to their marina. That's the plan for today. Alrighty, we are off. That was tight getting out of there. It was 4 foot 9 inches of water. So when we pivoted the boat around, the boat touched bottom, and I wouldn't touch my engines. I wasn't spinning the props at all. It was all thrusters just trying to spin the boat, and they walked me with the ropes pulling on me until I got in back on the side that had enough boat to float me, and then they pulled me forward with the ropes a little bit, and then I started bumping it in and out of gear until I got into 6 feet, 7 feet, all said 12 feet. So that was tight getting out of there. And this is the thing I hate in the morning with isinglass. So you guys know why I hate isinglass so much. They're fogged up like crazy, and I just wiped these things. Every time you wipe them, they refog instantly. So, and the inside, I think the inside is even foggy, right? No, inside's okay. It's this outside. So what I do is, got a little wiper. I hang out here, and I do one of these numbers with a little soft squeegee, and that lasts for about 3 minutes. So I just continue to do that until the sun comes up. As soon as the sun comes up, it takes 15 minutes, and then when I wipe them, they stay dry. So first thing ahead is the Franklin, I think it is, lock. But it is pretty on the water. Ain't that purty? Hey, they're opening up the lock. 7 a.m. Beautiful, beautiful. Or tonal lock, checkmate. Well, they never answered, but so we'll just sit and wait for the green light. Not a big deal. However, while we were here, they get a chance to see a big old alligator, thinking he's real sneaky, giving me the eyeball as he's just drifting by. All right, going into the Ortuna lock. I'm in standby, so it's my wheel. And I say that to myself because too many times I've forgot to take it out of autopilot and come to a stop, and the autopilot starts to turn, and it turns it all the way one way, and it starts squealing and everything. So if I say my wheel, I know that I've taken it out of autopilot and then I'm in control. Kind of like an airplane when somebody passes the wheel from one to the other, pilot to the co-pilot, they'll say, you know, my wheel or my plane or whatever. You really need, there's a lot of turbulence in here, and it's not turbulence like you would get up in the States. It's, they open up the front door to let the water in or out, and it causes a whirlpool effect, really strong. So it pushes your boat away from the wall, something fierce, and it pushes you backwards. So you really need to have two people holding on, and it's just me, so it's gonna be fun.
Start port side. You got the green?
Shit. I don't know if you can tell what I'm doing here. I've got a line tied to the rear cleat of the boat around the rope. Same thing with the front. Got a line tied to the front cleat around the rope. That way, one person can be handling the front and the back at the same time. In theory. Never tried this. Come on, man, close them doors. They are slow, slow. And for those of you that hear my engine running, no, they don't enforce turning your engines off. I asked the lockmaster. She said it was up to each lockmaster, and they typically don't enforce it, she said. Okay, he's just cracked them open. All right, good. Oh, just as soon as I say that, now he's opening them further. Dang. All right, Michael, hold on, buddy. You can do it. Oh man, going backwards, going backwards. Going backwards like crazy. Oh man. I don't know if you can see that on the GoPro, but see the level of the water about 7 feet up? Just pouring in black water, nasty water. Boat's lifting up. So far, this little rope trick is working. One in the back, and one in the front, and one, I'm holding both of them right here in front of me. Ain't that cool? I thought it was. So far, this is working great. Yeah. Feel like Samson. Here we go. We're off. Have a good day. You too. Okay, that is the last lock of the day. Now the next stop is at Randy and Carolyn's place, which is another 5 miles. Okay, pulling into Randy's marina. It's supposed to be right up past this big tree here. Wow, there's a sport fish underwater. Dang. I gotta pivot, pivot, pivot. guess I got somebody coming down to help me. Cool. Ooh, looks sketchy in there. Ooh, I don't have any fenders that low hanging right now, so I'm just gonna get in there real easy. Try not to touch it. Okay, he's got the bow line. And I think I'm gonna go down. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't swing in. Oh man. All right. Okay, we are tied up. Time to shut it down. Okay, we're all off. As I pulled up, I noticed several paragliders up in the sky having a good time. Very cool. Made it in safe and sound. Now, Randy and Carolyn are taking me over to the Riverfront Grill, which evidently has a history of being a speakeasy back in the day for Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and the people that came down here to Florida that had houses here years ago. Well, it was a wonderful trip today, riding along in the last trip along with Not So Fast, Randy and Carolyn, and their beautiful dog Lily. So I'm going to have a pleasant night tonight, I hope. I'm sure I'll get good rest. And then head out in the morning, going to cross Lake O. And I may not cross Lake O, we'll see. I think it's going to be too far of a trip for me. I may just go halfway and anchor out. We'll see how the day folds out.
Well, good morning. It's the next day. Just making myself a cup of coffee, trying to wake up. It is 6:31, and plan for today is to make the crossing around Lake Okeechobee. I think I've pretty much decided to not go straight across the lake. From where I'm at, it's just a little bit too far of a trip for me. And I mean, the trip isn't that far. It's once you get over across the lake, there are no places to anchor safely. There's one little place that is shown right by the lock, but some of the comments are don't do it. So I'm not quite sure I feel comfortable with anchoring there by the lock. And you can anchor on the outside, but it's supposed to get quite windy tonight. And I'm not comfortable with that. I don't like bouncy water. So I think I'm going to split it up into 2 days. I think I'm going to go take the southern route on the bottom of Lake O. There's a couple nice anchorages there. I love anchoring out. And may do some fishing as well. And then continue on tomorrow. I'm trying to get a reservation confirmed up at Indiantown, which is about halfway to Stewart. And then from there go on into Stewart. So that's the plan. So get my breakfast going and we'll get rolling. All right, we are idling out. We're on the river. No way I can open my isinglass. It's 49 out. With the wind blowing on me, it'll be 10 below. So I'm dealing with the fog on the windows, just sticking my hand out here and using the chamois and wiping it off about every 3 minutes so I can see where the heck I'm going. But as you can see, there's nobody on the river. Just beautiful sunrise.
That's what it's all about. That's why I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Look at the glassy water. Just look at that. Just look at that. The camera would focus. Come on. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's what it is all about. Oh. So I'll idle along. I usually just idle along. I don't sit there and let my engines sit and run until they warm up. Especially in a marina, just like this. This is not a active marina, so I'm sitting there, my engine's running, waking people up. I like just to crank up, idle out, especially on a river like this where there's not a soul around in front of me or behind me. And just idle until my engines get up to about 150, and then I'll bring it up to about 900 or 1000 RPM until it gets up to 180 operating temperature, and then I'll go. It's just so much more enjoyable to do that as opposed to just have them warmed up and going. I don't know, it just seems, this is just more like a ritual to me. I love it. All right. Yeah, I'll check in when I get to the lock. Here we go. I just went through that lock. Couldn't film it because it was just too much for one person. Too much going on. The ropes were short, the lock was tiny, the guy was in a hurry, just everything. So no way I could have grabbed the cameras and everything. But so I just made a right-hand turn and heading south on Lake O. Just over there, beyond these trees, is the ocean, Lake O. It's huge. You can see China on the other side of it. So this is the channel I'm going to be in all day long. Cool. This is kind of, I guess, docks, free docks or something. I'll find out more about what this is. But this is just as you make the turn going south around the rim route or taking the other place going that way. This is some docks right there. One of the many dikes that are around the circumference of Lake Okeechobee. One of the things that you will see here is them burning sugar cane at certain times of the year. I was kind of hoping that it wasn't this time of year, but of course it is. So the big plume of smoke ahead, of course, is what I'm heading right into. But I'm just hoping and praying that the wind is not blowing where I'm going to be anchored tonight. They just burn, thousands and thousands of acres of sugar cane. Okay, I'm going that way. If you turn this way, that's the way across Lake O. I'm going this way. The rim route. One of the many weather stations that wrap the entire perimeter of the lake. So I found this little cove right off the main cut. Came in right there. So I'm gonna probably go up over there and drop an anchor where it's smooth, because the wind, I think, is supposed to come out of that direction towards me. So far I still have whoops, it's flashing. There you go. Still have 15 feet You can see I came in right there, made a turn, and if I zoom out, this is right on the bottom of Lake Okeechobee right there. There's the whole lake. I'm right on the bottom. Looks pretty. Let's see how the anchor holds. I'm sitting here editing my video and look at the view I have out the door. It's just beautiful. Once again, this is why I love anchoring out. Man, oh man, oh man, it's just so beautiful at nighttime. Look at that. Especially in this little cove here, where there is just a mirror for a glass or for the water top. Man, it's just amazing. Look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Good morning. Oh, what a night. I dropped anchor here in this nice little cove. It was fairly windy. I mean, it wasn't bad when I pulled in, but it was fairly windy all night. The one issue I had is I got a little cocky. This anchor for this boat is a huge, way oversized mantis anchor. And normally you drop it down 3 to 1 and it just bites and holds all night long. Never had this thing slip throughout the entire loop. Well, I forgot 2 things. First off, I forgot Lake Okeechobee is solid mud in the coves. Just mud, silty, gooey mud. And it's not thick like you'd get up north. It's just silty. So I pulled into this cove, dropped the anchor, and there, at the time I was in an area that there was no wind. It was just like glass. Oh, here comes the sun. Oh my goodness. The boat is swinging around. And I only put out about 3 to 1, which was stupid. So woke up this morning, and all night long the wind was howling. The boat was swinging around like it's kind of doing right now. It's swinging back and forth. And it probably slid 300 feet. It's still holding, but it's slowly sliding. It's like every time it goes back and forth, it goes a few more inches. And thank goodness this cove is deep. It's 15 foot deep all the way across. And it's probably 600, 700 feet across, maybe 1,000 feet across. So I'm almost out into the middle of it now. No harm, no foul, but it was, you know, one of those stupid things. Bottom line is, anytime you're anchoring and you know there's going to be wind, you do 7 to 1. A lot of people get away with 5 to 1. I do that all the time. I get away with 3 to 1 with this anchor. But in an unknown area with wind, do 7 to 1. That's just the absolute rule of thumb. Anyway, plan for today is to head up the east rim of Lake Okeechobee. I have reservations at Indiantown Marina, and then I'll leave tomorrow, and I have reservations at Safe Harbor Marina in Stewart. All that's going to be great because I'll be protected from the wind coming out of the east. However, when I get to Safe Harbor, the wind's going to really turn out of the east and come right across the fetch area in Stewart into Safe Harbor. So that's going to probably suck over there. And when I leave, the wind's going to be strong for the next 3 days after that out of the east, which means winds on the beam heading up the east coast. And it's very wide ICW up there. So I'm not looking forward to that. Anyway, I'm going to have my breakfast and I'm going to get the heck out of here.
Well, you don't have to worry about cell coverage down here. Man, this thing has got some antennas all over it. Got like 9G. Alrighty, we are coming up to the first bridge, the Torrey Island Bridge. It's a swing bridge. It's only 11 feet high, and it's manually operated, she said. So you have to call them well before you get there. And she says she wants a bunch of information about the boat. I gave her all that. And she said, go into a holding pattern and I'll get there as soon as I can. So, yeah, we'll see. I don't know if she has to come from her house or what. Looks like a free dock. I don't know if I could have parked here. I mean, it's all grown in and stuff. But I bet I could have come up here last night and tied up. Interesting. I'll have to check it out and see what it's all about. It's right here by the bridge. I looked it up, and it's in front of a place called Slim's Fish Camp. I mean, the docks are all grown in and everything. Obviously, it's not being taken care of. And there is a write-up on Active Captain that says no overnight parking, but that was from 10 years ago. Well, the bridge tender finally showed up, and it was an absolute manual bridge opening, kind of like what you get up in the Trent Severn where the young kids come out and walk around in circles with the little wheels. But this guy was doing it all by himself, and big old bridge, and I mean, it wasn't quick. It was a lot of walking in circles. I'm sure he was dizzy by the time he got done. Good exercise, though. Well, the day turned out to really be a lot rougher than I'd like. The waves were slamming me. Dang! Hey! Whoa! Man! That was a big one. Oh, yeah! Uh-oh, here comes a big one. Yeah! Man! Oh, I can't stand up. Holy mackerels. Man, I wish it would calm down. This is going to be a long day. Well, it stayed this way for the next 2 hours. Tell you what, I'm sure glad I got this Meridian underneath me. This boat eats these waves. I am more and more impressed with this boat every day. It's on the beam now. I can't wait to swing back north. There's a short area where I have to go eastbound, and it's on the beam. So every now and then I get a massive roller through here. For you non-boaters, the term on the beam means the waves are coming at you from the side. And it doesn't make any difference how big your boat is. It's going to toss you side to side, unless you have built-in stabilizers, of course. Please calm down. This is not fun. Man, Lake Okeechobee can really throw it at you. Here comes one. Dang. Dang. Trying to hold on to the seat. And for you guys that say, well, that's not so bad, I can deal with that. Well, yeah, so can I for 10, 15, 20 minutes. But hour after hour, it wears on you. And pretty soon, you just can't wait for it to stop. Yow! Man, not fun on the beam. Oh man, I'm not even halfway yet. I hate beam seas. At least the whitecaps have calmed down some. Now it's just rollers. I mean, there's still lots of whitecaps, but nothing like it was back there where it's really blowing hard. Oh, I'm going to turn north here up about another half a mile, and that should get it off the beam. It's already starting to get a little bit off the beam.
Current going with you.
Current will be going with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for your help. Wow, that was fun. Too bad I didn't have the camera running. See if I can explain this. Let me turn around out of the wind. All right, so I came in, wind was blowing this way. So I put all my fenders out on the starboard side, especially because my enclosure is way up in the air, catching the wind, blowing me that way. I asked the guy in front of me here, because he was going to the wall, to please make room for me. He just went ahead, went to the other side. I come up, going to grab the lines to hold the front one and rear one like I did the last couple of locks. Guy comes out and says, no, you can't do this by yourself. He says, tie it off, tie it off. Leave enough room for the boat to drop 1.5 feet. That's all we're gonna go down. Man, the second he grabbed the line, or he gave me the line, I tried to pull, I couldn't. The wind's coming in from the east, swirling and blowing my boat back that way. Or wind's coming from the north, blowing my boat that way. I tried kicking in my thruster and held it. There was no way it had enough power to force against the strength of the wind that was curling and blowing my boat. So now you can see I'm out in the middle with like a spring line tied off on both sides, and he said, leave it tied off until we get down. He says, there's no way you can hold it. And he's right, there was no way I could hold it. So we're only dropping 1.5 feet. And yeah, that was exciting. it was all happening really quick, and the boat was going. I barely got it tied off in time. Zowie. And all he does to let the water down is open the front doors. There is no valves underneath this one. All the ones on Lake Okeechobee are the same way. They just open the doors. So this is going to be a down, where the coming in from the west side, we're all ups. These are really thick ropes, and you have hardly room to get them around cleats if you have other rope on like I do for my fenders. But that one looks like it's tied off good. Yep. And the front one is tied off good. And he's opening the door. So now that he's got the front doors open, the water coming out, it's really weird. It's causing a turbulence, pushing me backward. You think it would do just the opposite. You can see the lines are going backward, and I'm swinging back towards against the wall. He told me it was going to be just the opposite of what I thought, and he's right. Water coming in pushes you, water coming out pushes you backwards in this particular lock. Crazy. He said it's clear to go, and the wind is going to catch me. Here we go. Quickly, and it's catching me already. Bow thruster. All right, I'm off. Man. Come on, pivot. Man, the wind is twisting in here. Woohoo! Goodness gracious. Amazing, 1.5 foot drop. And it was second worst lock on the loop because of the wind. Wind's blowing like 30, swirling like crazy. Good guy. Yep, he was definitely on the ball. As soon as I started to pull up, I told him when I was telling the other boat in front of me that I was by myself, that lockmaster come running out, pulls the line up, and gets it all held up in a bundle. And as soon as I got there, he tossed it over my bow rail, and it caught. And he immediately started explaining to me about the way the wind is here and the way where I need to be and that I have to tie off. I can't hold it. There's no way I could have held it. That I had to tie. Man, I mean, he was Johnny on the spot. He saved my butt. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I don't know why I like excitement. Well, only if things go well, obviously. And so far on the loop, everything is. Haven't done anything wrong yet. Had some excitement, but nothing. I haven't, haven't died yet. Oh, fun. All right, now I'm heading to Indiantown Marina. To go move my fenders to the port side. I might be tying on a seawall. All right, 3 down. Go. Okay. All set for a single person tie. So there's a boat where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be right there where that yacht's at. Great. All right, hope somebody comes in and helps, because I may not have a spot. We will see. Oh, great. Unbelievable. She said as soon as I come in, pull up right to that dock. And that's where that boat is at. Any room behind the trawler? The main ship? A little bit. I guess I can try to squeeze in there with this wind. God, I hope somebody comes out, because the wind's going to blow me away from the wall. Thrusters on. I don't know what they expect me to do here. That's their fuel dock. Come on, wind, be lull. Yeah, I'm by myself. Sure, I'll take all the help I can get. Okay, here we go. Oh man. All right. Thank you very much. I
Welcome.
I think that boat was supposed to be gone. They told me that I would have a free wall, but I guess this is it.
Maybe it. I've stayed here before on this fuel dock.
Is that right? Oh, damn, I made it. I'm alive. I don't believe it. Thank you very much.
Let's see. We need to.
Oh, I'll tighten
good
things
here?
up. Yeah, let me shut things down and I'll swing things in. Thank you.
good.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Wow. That was easier than I thought. I love this boat, man. This thing has so much control. It's crazy. Engine's off. Yep, when you have twin engines and twin thrusters, you can do anything. So I had some people ask how I set up my fenders in different situations. Well, this is a different situation. This is docked at a fuel dock. And the fuel dock has these pilings, so there's no real way to put a fender on the boat easily where it'll stay. So the way, but there is, you spring the boat so it doesn't move forward or backward. And what I mean by that is you put enough line, for instance here, spring line, tied here, all the way to here. So when the boat goes down or up with the tide, it stays, the boat doesn't move forward. And I did the same thing with the stern line. It's sprung. Now it's not a very long spring line because the tide here is only like, but regardless, let's say this is a 3-foot tide. There's a spring there. Now there is cushion. There's this cushiony stuff that can rub against your boat, but it makes this loud squeaking noise at nighttime. So I take my fender, tie it to the rail, and set it so it's even with the piling. Same with the black fender. Tie it so it's even with the piling. It stays there because my spring lines won't let the boat move forward or backward. Stays there perfectly. In the back of the boat, it doesn't touch, but I put my largest fender ball. So when I'm leaving tomorrow, if the boat happens to swing in, that'll touch. Little, just extra safety. Anyway, that's it. I'm just watching this lizard do his morning push-ups.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I can't do anymore. Hey, what you looking at? I'll bite your ass.
Good morning. Had a really nice, restful evening last night. Tied up to the fuel dock. This is a really well-protected spot that I'm in. So even though it's been windy out, the trees are, you can see they're right across from me here, really blocking it. So it was dead calm. So I got a good, peaceful rest. Plan today is to head out. Got to go through one last lock, the St. Lucie lock, I believe it's called, and heading into a marina in Stewart, Safe Harbor, and then that will close my crossing across the state of Florida. So that'll be a 2 thumbs up when I get there. We'll see if I make it alive and see how the day goes. I'm gonna eat my breakfast and push off. First bridge is a swing bridge, and nobody's responding to the VHF or the telephone. There's a boat on either side waiting to go through. Alrighty, finally got the bridge guy out here to open it. He doesn't monitor channel 9, and I rang off the hook with the phone. Nobody answered. Finally, the boat said he actually got a hold of him on the phone. So yeah, it's only about 15 minutes. Not a big deal. He's a slow one. Swing bridge. St. Lucie Swing Bridge at Indiantown. Man, that is a slow one. Must use AAA batteries. They haven't gone to lithium yet. Man, that's a slow one. Still turning, but I think it's out of the way enough. I'm gonna go. They work on big boats. Goodness gracious, look at the height of that boy. Grand Harbor, Grand Banks. I think it's a Grand Harbor. Similar design to KDB, but a lot bigger. Wow. And a boat beside it's got like 14 motors. Starting to get a little toasty up here now, so it's time to open the isinglass. Hey, 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 hey. There we go. Usually open a little bit at a time. I'm going to leave the front ones closed, just the side ones open. Because the wind blowing on you, the wind chill factor on the water is really pretty strong, pretty intense because of the moisture. A beautiful ride this morning though. Well, when the sun starts blaring in like that, I need to put up my high dollar sunshade. So let's do that. Get my big old towel. You need one of these really big beach towels. Excuse me, high dollar sunshade to do this. And these big old clips. These are awesome. Gotta have these on a boat. Clip one right here, and then I unzip a little bit of this where to reach. About there. There you go. Let's see how that works. Ah, much better. Man, I tell you, the sun down here in Florida is intense. Even in the wintertime, the heat from the sun, I mean, the outside temperature is like 62 or something. Intensity of that sun is really bakes you on the side of your face. So, gotta have one of these high dollar sunshades. Much better. Okie dokie. Last lock of the Great Loop. St. Lucie Lock. Man, it's supposed to be a 14.5-foot drop by myself. If they'll let me do it by myself, I'm sure I'll get through. They'll grumble a little bit probably, but so I just called him and he's getting the lock ready, getting the chamber ready. Dang, didn't have the recorder going. Oh, obviously had a great funny conversation with this lockmaster. I asked him what side to go on because of windage, and he says if you go on the starboard side I can hand the line down to you. And he says I suggest you use a pole so you don't go swimming. And I said it's a nice day to go swimming. And he goes, not my lock. He goes, you'd get quickly introduced to my pet alligator. Okay. So we're going starboard tie.
All right, now we don't have a fender and ladder well.
Nice.
I'm gonna hand you out the bow line first in this breeze, all right?
All right.
Come on up. It's actually rigged up for this.
It gives me much more pivoting capabilities.
Yeah,
One
okay.
person.
Just, I get nervous when the guys will stand there in the middle of there with a line in each hand.
Nah, that don't work.
I had a guy go swimming over in St. Lucie doing that.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah.
Is there an alligator in here?
Not right now. I do have alligators come through the chamber here all the time.
Do you really? This works so good, it's crazy. Just slowly let it slide. The boat stays to the wall. It's crazy how easy it is.
Like your setup there.
It's so easy, it's nuts. So how long have you been at the locks?
About 5.5 years.
Nice. How do you like it?
This is my retirement gig.
Is it really?
This is a lot more fun than, hi, welcome to Walmart.
Wow, nice. Alrighty. And we're off. That was easy peasy. That was awesome. What a nice lockmaster. And what's hilarious is if you read the write-ups, they say the lockmaster with the long hair with a ponytail is the crankiest guy, blah, blah, blah. He was the nicest lockmaster I've come across. Super nice. Yeah, I don't know if you heard what he was saying. The way I was doing it, looping through the front and the back, holding in the middle, and all I would do is I'd loop the ropes together and hold in my hands, let them slide. And it literally it's like having two people on the boat, holding the front and the back, just me in the center, not even any force at all, just slowly letting it slide through my hands. And he comes out there and he goes, man, I've never seen that. He goes, that's awesome, I like that setup. And he kept looking and looking and going, it just looks too great. It's like working perfectly. And I'm just standing there, just not even pulling. Michael Ingenuity. There's the expressway I just went under. Willis Custom Yachts. Some big boys here. Nice. Interstate 95. I am truly on the East Coast now. What's really cool is many times I've gone over the 95 bridge or the Turnpike Bridge and looked down this canal and go, one of these days I'm going to have my own boat going through here. Never thought it would happen. Going through the last drawbridge, crossing the state of Florida. Hey, some pivot action going on here. Got some current and some wind.
B-55 is going to be located right between this sailboat and this boat right here, sir.
Got it. Copy, copy. And I'm gonna back in there with the wind blowing.
Got that stern line. I'm going to try to grab that just so I can apply some brakes for you.
Got your stern line?
All right.
Looking good, looking good. Have around 7 feet, 5 feet, 3 feet. I call it good there, yeah. Pretty good.
Thank you.
Maybe help you get more situated if you like, but I just put a semi-permanent line there and I have
Perfect.
one right here.
That's perfect. Yeah.
I like the GoPro.
Oh, let me get the line up front.
Yes, sir. Well, there you go. You got a perfect there.
Oh, get up there. Yeah.
There you go. And if you'd like, I'll push you out to the other side to show you to the other line over there, maybe?
Yep, yep. Okay.
Damn, I wish old boats were like this. You make it too easy.
Ah, yeah, right. We'll deal with this a little later here.
Welcome to the Safe Harbor Harbor, sir.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Jagger.
Jagger. Michael.
Nice to meet you, Michael.
Nice to meet you. That ought to work.
You want to hand me that back line? I can situate that one back there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, pretty damn man. There we go.
There you go. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. Last night at a marina here at this beautiful Stewart Safe Harbor Marina. Man, I'm kind of getting a little emotional here with the last time in a marina for the entire loop. Well, I've had time to settle in, wash the boat, had dinner, had a chance to talk to some of my nice neighbors. And that was a pretty cool trip across the state of Florida, all except for that rough Lake Okeechobee. Man, that lake is like an ocean. The only thing that, there were some areas in there that were really sketchy, that had me concerned, but the only thing that made me feel safe was this boat. This boat can eat some waves, man, I tell you what. Otherwise, a nice trip, and another week under my belt of video. So here at the marina, gonna finish editing this video and get some good night's sleep, and that'll be the end of this video. So once again, thank you so much for riding along. I do appreciate it, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye bye.